Okay, for the last 5 decades, hip-hop music has evolved and adapted and changed the landscape of the industry and created cultural icons.
A new graphic novel called The Graphic History of Hip-Hop Volume 1 is a one-of-a-kind publication that really intertwines hip-hop's storied history and its extensive influence on culture, politics, and economics. And the book's creators are here. Welcome, Dr. Walter Greason, preeminent Afrofuturism historian, and Tim Fielder, illustrator and original visual Afrofuturist. Gentlemen,
welcome.
Good to have you.
Thank you. To be here.
Those are quite the titles, though. What's Afrofuturist? I want to make sure we get that right.
So Afrofuturism is very much how do we look into the future and imagine people of African descent as part of the story.
Okay.
And so much of the science fiction, I think most people think of Star Wars. It was very rare to see African American characters, African diaspora characters until very recently. And so Afrofuturism raises that possibility to say all of us have a part of the future.
Okay.
Love that.
So where did the idea for this book come from? Tim, no?
Late 2022, this guy lost his mind and said, Tim, New York City Department of Education wants us to do a history of hip hop for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we did a 24-page comic with Joe Schmidt of the New York City Department of Education. And that was 24 pages, and then we lost our minds and we expanded it into a 92-page, fully painted graphic novel.
Wow. And you illustrated this.
Yes, that is why I'm now bald.
Just a little bit of stress.
Yes.
How do you combine 50 years of history into this?
So that's the real technique in the terms of the writing anyway, is that thousands of books have been written in the last 60 years to kind of cover this, but most historians really like to study things further back, things that are like the Revolution or the Civil War, World War II. But in this window, more history has been written than ever before. And so that was the challenge for me, is to take the social history of the United States since 1965 and talk about how that shaped what hip hop became. And yeah, it's a lot of condensing. And taking whole textbooks and pulling them into just small sentences.
What a great way for kids to learn, and us too, but I know it's an educational tool, right?
Yes, yes it is. It's the idea of taking the written narrative and marrying that with the visual narrative to make something that can connect to everyone.
And it starts at the beginning. Is it like a full chronological story, or you kind of bounce around?
So this was the fun part.
Okay.
We had a core story that we put together for the students in New York City, but we knew it had to appeal to students around the world. So at the core is the actual writing of how the past influenced from 1973 at the first block party, all the way up to 2006 is where we draw the end, when the industry kind of becomes worldwide.
Right.
And so the piece that we added to make it a 90-page novel was a timeline of all the major historical events that influenced the way that hip hop changed. And so there's kind of layered narrative in there that you're seeing lots of different stories in a very short space.
Wow.
Tim, what does it take to put something like this together?
Oh, wow. I think the idea of just being able to embed as much love and reverence into the form, to also to be able to take his words and to provide a visual context that could either be specific or implied in what he's writing. So for example, 1973, start of hip hop, but around that same time, the Watergate investigation. So hip hop has been intertwined through not just American history, but world history.
You have an example there for us on your iPad?
Oh, well, yeah, that's
how the
right.
magic happens.
I didn't know you were going to do that now. Okay, sorry. Hey, hang on.
You do everything on.
Okay, here we go. So this is what I did.
Look at this.
By the way, your hair is magnificent.
You made it look really good. That looks awesome.
You use a certain software?
Yeah, I use a software program called Procreate, and but I also use Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint, and I have to go through taking all of the folks who were involved in hip hop and to get the reference to draw them. So I had to, yes, I did do a deep dive and found images of you that I could use as reference.
You picked one of my favorite images, so I
this
appreciate
is
it.
good.
Thank
This
you
is a
so
good
much.
photo.
That's
She likes
so
this
great
one.
to know that. And of course, you try to not just take the spirit of a person. Your eyes are amazing, by the way, because you know when you're drawing a person, you're like, wow, look at that.
That is
so
cool.
So to do that for hip hop, to bring
Yeah.
them together into something that everyone can enjoy.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Okay, send that file.
Thank you. Yes, please. That'll be my profile photo now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, you guys are at the small book.
Small Press Expo.
Small
in
Press
Maryland.
Expo. I want to make sure I
There we
got
go.
that.
Yep.
Plus, you can come out here with Dr. Greason and Tim, have a discussion. There's a book signing. They have it tomorrow night at Sankofa Video Books and Cafe on Georgia Avenue Northwest, starting at 6:30 p.m. You can get a book there. You can find them online, or even at the National Museum for African American History and Culture.
You're exploring our city. Enjoy.
Love it.
I know.
Thank you for
you.
coming. Yeah.